Alright, it is 9:15. I actually started hiking 15 minutes ago. That's how long it took me to get from the damn shelter back to the trail. It's definitely tucked away down there, but had an okay night's sleep. There weren't really any good tenting spots. I mean, there were tenting spots, but they weren't good. There's a lot of roots, a lot of rocks in some of them. And the one that I picked had roots. I cleared off all the rocks. And once I was pitched, I realized the whole thing is actually more slanted than it looked. So I spent the whole night waking up often to slide back up my tent. But I'm sure the people in the next tent over probably were also awakened by me sliding back up my tent, because it's not exactly a quiet process. But no one said anything, because I think we all understood this ain't the Hilton. It's better. It's the wild, baby. I was doing over 13 miles today. I think I did over 16 yesterday, but I was charging hard. It's so easy to do, big miles the day after you come out of town. But this is the second day on the trail, and yeah, my pack's slightly lighter because I've eaten a little bit of food, but yesterday's workout is definitely going to play into today's comfort level. So we'll see how I feel. Had a good breakfast, and had a little bit of signal briefly, in one corner of my tent last night. So sort of got to talk with the sweetie. I mean, not really talk, but, text, and it would take forever for it to go through. Then later she'd respond. But it was cool. It was better than the rest of the Smokies have been in that regard, because that's the first time I've had any signal in this entire park. Oh, look at that. Woo. So, on to whatever day 27 brings. I think it should be a nice day. Low 70s, sunny with some clouds, and a feral little man traipsing through the woods. Enjoy. Well, I already had my first fall of the day. Haven't even been walking an hour, but you can see why. All this shit fell out, and the trail's actually up there. You can see this walk around goes up that way. But these big ass trees fell over the trail. So people did a walk around to climb over this right here. But with all the rain we've had, this is just a mudslide. So I made it over a couple trees, made it over this big one, planted my feet, only I didn't plant my feet. So I slid all the way down here. So it's all very soft, and I'm fine. But it was one of those things where you knew the second you put your foot down, that's it, you're going. So luckily my trekking poles did not get fucked up this time. So on we go. Nothing is going to stop the feral Dave. Alright, it's 1:30. Lunch is over. I stopped at Thru-Hike Corner Knob Shelter. It's a weird name. Had myself some lunch and rearranged my pack. This morning I was thinking about more efficient ways to have the pack organized so that when I get into camp I can pull things out as I need them in order instead of having to pull everything out to find one thing. But the problem with that was when I rearranged it today, I put the bear canister at the very bottom, which in theory is good because ideally you want your weight kind of at the very bottom. But the problem is it's like right up against the small of my back. And on the downhills, every time your foot drops a bit, that thing just keeps banging against the vertebrae. And just, no, can't do it. So I spend more time putting my pack back the way I usually have it, where the sleeping bag is all compressed at the bottom, then the bear canister, and then clothes on top. And it's not exactly in a good, efficient order in terms of when I get to camp, but in terms of how it feels while I hike, this is definitely the best way to go. So, talk to some people, Eagle Eye, Poppy, some guy named One Speed, and that speed is extremely fast. He had already done almost 13 by lunchtime, so this dude's moving. But finished everything up, filled up all the waters, and said goodbye to the millions of flies in that shelter, and then back on trail. So I've got about 7.5, something like that, to the next shelter, which I can't remember what it's called. I think it might be called Devil Spring Shelter, but I'm not sure. I'll probably check it at some point, just not right now. So off we go into the afternoon. Woohoo! I was coming up this hill, and there's just devastation. Look at this. Oh, shit. Sorry. God damn it. There we go, sorry. But something came through this section here and just wiped out everything. I mean, holy crap. It just goes for a while. I'm assuming this was from Helene last year, but I mean, shit. This is the worst I've seen it. And it's been pretty bad in North Carolina, I gotta say. I'm sure the trail maintenance people do a lot of work every year, and this year especially. But I mean, there was so much damage done. They couldn't possibly take care of all of it right away. But look at this. This is unreal. Wow. The bugs are crazy here for some reason. Probably a lot of decay. Man, it's wild. you know you're up there when you're looking down on the mountains. Still have more to go. Come on, gotta go. Keep moving. It's just too beautiful to go. All right, we are in late afternoon. It's about, 5 after 4 or something like that. And I was wrong about the name of the shelter I'm going to. It's not Devil Spring Shelter. I'm not sure that's in my head. Maybe I saw that somewhere else, but that ain't where we're going. No, where we're going is the rather unfortunately named Cosby Knob Shelter. Yeah. Don't know whether to laugh or vomit. Probably a little of both. But anyway, we're going to probably make it there around between 5 and 5:30, I'm guessing. Which will be nice. Last night I got in a little late. I think some people were quietly annoyed that I was still setting up tent. But I mean, to be fair, I was setting up my tent and I was done by, 8:15. So, the moment that hikers the unwritten rule is to be quiet at 9. So, the eye rolling and the sighs can just kiss my ass. Because I was there, I was quiet by 9, and it's not my fault. Some of you guys stop at shelters at like 4 o'clock or 3 just because you don't want to keep hiking or you want to get the very best spot, so you stop your day way early. That's on you, because hiker midnight's 9 o'clock. So I will be able to not have to deal with any of the huffing and puffing this time around, because I will be in there early enough. I might even be able to enjoy a full-on dinner instead of just eating some packaged stuff quietly in my tent. So, my foot caught on a rock. That's what happens when you have gigantic feet. But anyway, we are on the way there, and it'd be great if I didn't trip over every goddamn rock and root between here and there. But it probably will. So, see you later. Well, it's been a while, maybe almost half a mile, but there was a huge tree down, and the walk around was extremely steep, extremely slick, and then there was a bunch of really jagged rocks. We were basically scaling the side of the mountain because there's no trail. It's just a spot where a few brave souls went around this gigantic tree where nobody could have climbed over or through it. So it was the only option. And I got that, and that, and then that. Yeah. It's been an afternoon. There's a lot of fucking trees down here. I think Helene, I assume it was Helene, just kicked the shit out of this area. And now this area is kicking the shit out of me. I made it over most of the trees, but that one area, we're on the side of the mountain. My God. I'm gonna get to the shelter. It's a little over a mile. Clean this out. And then just go on with my day. It looks worse than it feels. Doesn't feel great, but it looks worse than it feels. So, onward and that word.